right, so we're live now in the tavern, and yes, so we attempted to do Facebook again, but Facebook just, it's not cooperating right now. So I think fabulous Faire May just joined us, so I am going to invite them to join. And okay, so how about, because for some reason it's not letting me add the group, so how about Zach, if you do it from yours? Let's try to do that. These things are just so oh goodness. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why the group's unable to. Hey guys. So, all right. Hey guys. All right, so we're just kind of waiting for them to join, because it says Faire May joined, but for some reason, I don't know if it's because it's a musician or what, but yeah, so guys, try doing it from Zach's page, because maybe like the personal page will make a better difference. So, all right. So how is everybody in the meantime? Okay. All right, I'm just going to type Zach a little message. Okay, so Zach's here. Okay, let us, yay, I can invite Zach. This is awesome. So join, once you accept that, you guys are on. So, all right. Hi guys.
Took a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I wanted to try things out a little bit early, because with my last guests, we had a little bit of Facebook Live issues. So, I don't know.
Yep.
Facebook Live needs to get on the ball with all of that, I think. But all right, how is everybody?
Doing well.
That's good. Awesome. Yeah. So who all is there?
We are actually short one band member tonight. Max McGovern, our guitar player, could not make it, unfortunately, but
Okay.
the rest of us are here.
Fabulous. Good. Yeah. So, yeah, as soon as you guys are ready, I know you wanted to maybe play a little intro piece. Just to kind of kick things off, because I'm really excited, because you guys are like I'm excited to have fellow musicians in here. You guys are my first musical guests, so I am really, and yeah, we have people joining, so this is awesome. So yeah, if you guys wanted to just play a little something, and then we will get right into the interview. So
Great. We had to do a last minute switch. I think it was because we were trying to join with the computer. So now we're on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. I'm really excited. Love you guys. All right, awesome guys, awesome, and I'm sure everybody else watching is applauding at home. So maybe I should get those in studio applause sound effects. I don't know, but but yeah, that was awesome. So what was that? What was that piece that you guys played again?
The first one was Jefferson Liberty, and then we did Haste to the Wedding.
Oh, cool. Yes, yes, I played that. Yeah, before in I know Wayward Companions, my early music group. We played that before a couple times too. So. Yeah, but cool. So so before I introduce you guys, I just got to kind of represent first here. I like to show off my little tavern setup first because it's kind of growing. But I have my 18th century mug made by my friend Mike Flaherty, and shout out to my last live stream guest, Fanny's Boozy Jams and Jellies. They have this awesome candle out, camp coffee, to go with their really awesome jams and everything. And so now this is part of the setup. And of course, I love the Farnsworth Inn at Gettysburg. So I have their nutty caramel crisp candle going. And then last but definitely not least, Mythology Candles. This is their lamppost candle from their Always Winter Never Christmas line, which is, if you're a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, this candle line is based on that. And I figured it was between their Alchemist candle for tonight and this, and I figured since we're all getting a new bout of winter time now, the Always Winter Never Christmas line would be very befitting. So how is it over where you guys are? Are you guys getting a lot of snow?
We haven't seen grass in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of, we've gotten some ice storms here, and yeah, so it's supposed to like snow again, and the groundhog saw his shadow and all that fun stuff. So yeah, but how about guys introduce yourselves? Anyone can go first.
I'm Jack Gordon, and I can play the fiddle and a couple other things.
My name is Jeriel Henthorn, and I play bass and bone for Faire May, but tonight I'm also playing guitar.
Okay, yeah.
My name is Jake Coughlin. Like Zach, I play lots of different things, but right now tonight I'll probably be playing the tenor banjo and the whistle.
Yeah, very cool. So awesome. And now I met Zach, you and your sister Kara. I met you guys doing at Fort Henry Days, actually, in Wheeling, West Virginia. Because my own the early music group that I'm in, Wayward Companions, we played there a few times and stuff. And yeah, and I remember when I first saw Zach, just kind of like, just kind of like going around playing like his music, his fiddles and everything. And you know, and it was definitely just, you know, extremely talented. And then you got together with Jeriel, and you guys were doing your thing. Didn't you play in Gallowglass a couple times?
Yeah, we and Jacob's in Gallowglass too, so that's kind of what started it all.
Cool, yeah. And so give me a little bit of background, because I know, Zach, it just started with you and Jeriel as Faire May, and then it just kind of grew as you added new members. So yeah, just give us a little bit of like a background on just on your, you know, your band, and maybe if you wanted to share a little bit of like if you guys have formal training or if you're self-taught or a little bit of both. Yeah, I'm sure we'd all love to hear it. So
how the band came together was kind of a three-pronged attack. Because first I joined Gallowglass, and Jacob was already there, and so he was there way before I was. So then I met Jacob that way, and then I met Max doing something else, and we decided to make a band, just me and Max. And he's not here tonight, but we were the Jig Is Up. We were doing that for a while. And then I met her in another band, the bluegrass band Crandall Creek, and just eventually it became the four of us. So it was just the two of us at first, and I was like, it's a lot more fun with more people who know what they're doing.
Oh, of course. Definitely, yeah. And so do you guys play a lot of living history events? Do you play like coffee houses in different venues, or is it all of the above?
Kind of all the above. I don't think we've done a four-person living history one yet.
No, we've mostly played the 18th century stuff, just the two of us.
But Max has done it as well, and you've done it with Gallowglass, so it's like just not together. But yeah, we do a lot of coffee houses, in particular Leonardo's Coffee House, which is awesome, in Steubenville, Ohio. They're really cool, like steampunk decorated and everything.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. And so now, do you guys do a lot of playing in period clothing? Because I know you did your and I had the pleasure of taking in your Christmas concert at the Cockaigne Farmstead. So do you prefer like playing in period attire, or I guess you can say normal? I guess normal for us clothes. Modern clothes.
Well, I can say one thing from my Victorian musical experiences, that it's not easy to switch instruments and move around while wearing a bustle.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task. Or sit on the stool. That is also true.
Yeah.
The thing about men's fashion that's either 18th century, Victorian, or modern, if you're going for the fancy style, it's almost exactly the same. It's just usually the pants are somewhat different, but other than that, it feels kind of the same. Except there was something nice about the Christmas concert because we were wearing a whole bunch of layers and with our coats and everything.
In the Cockaigne house, so that was really fun. That was a fun experience. So historical gigs are a lot of fun, but there's also a lot of fun in playing modern music, modern settings.
Probably what we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
With opportunities to dress up. That's what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, I love any opportunity to dress up personally. I mean, but I know even with my own personal experience with doing 18th century, and then we have kind of dabbled a little bit in like Civil War and Victorian era. And then, of course, I have my own like Celtic Celtic fantasy rock that I do. I kind of dress up a little bit for that, but it's not like to the full extent that I would do. It's kind of like a combination of like a modern rock style, and I put in some little old world stuff in there. But so that's kind of like how I would dress for that. But just like even like the difference from 18th century to 19th century, at least for women's clothing, and Jeriel, I'm sure you experienced this too. It is a little bit different. You know, it's definitely different. I do find it a lot easier to move around in 18th century clothing than I do in like more Victorian era, like later Victorian era. But I would say the easiest, most simple, most comfortable, I guess. Because I mean, they're all comfortable in their own way. But I would say the easy, like if I'm, if I had to choose what I would think is the easiest style for women to get into and everything and all that, and have to like move around and play instruments and everything, I would say the Regency era is probably, at least for me, the easiest, unless I guess. I don't know if time-consuming is the right word, because I have gotten it, my period clothing, I've gotten it down to a science where I can just kind of, put everything on and like, pretty quickly, at least like 20 minutes. But I know, it's just definitely, it's interesting seeing, 18th century, mid-late 18th century into the Regency era, and then going into the Victorian era, how just how different how different even like the corsets and and then you get into the hoop skirts and all that stuff when you get more into the Victorian era. So Jeriel, do you have a do you find 18th century clothing to be a little bit like easier to move around in than say Victorian clothing when you're performing?
Yes. I feel like 18th century clothing is more practical.
Yeah.
And it is probably more comfortable and definitely easier to move around in, because
I
bustle, you tend to run into things and bump into things, and it is not as easy to sit down. So I would think that 19th century Victorian clothing is more practical 18th century is more practical when performing.
Yeah. I do tend to agree, because I'll never forget when I was performing with Wayward Companions, and they wanted the venue wanted kind of like a Civil War era, set and outfits and everything. I'll never forget trying to because we needed to use a little bit of a sound system. I'll never forget trying to be like, setting all of that up in a hoop skirt. It wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. I remember Laura and I kind of running into each other with our hoop skirts when we were trying to get all of our instruments and everything set up and everything. So yeah, we were just like, yeah, I'll take 18th century any day, and 18th century over this, at least when it comes to performing, So I, like I said, I really enjoyed, the times I've seen you guys play, I really enjoyed it. I, even wrote an article on my Bonfires, Castles, and Time Travel webzine, just reviewing your Christmas concert. By the way, it got a lot of hits, so that hopefully
we
that
really appreciated that. I mean,
that was a wonderful article.
You did a lot of research. I think you knew more about us than we did.
Well, hey, you know what? But you guys are, you're very good at what you do, and like I said, your article got a lot of hits, so hopefully that, maybe, drew some more attention to you guys. I'm always like, just trying to do that for my fellow musicians and everything. But what, so how are you guys kind of, I don't know how it's like in West Virginia versus here in Pennsylvania. Do you guys have any like venues open or anything like that right now, or not? Or are you guys doing more like the virtual stuff?
It's a little bit of both. On February 28th, Sunday, we did this last year as well. The Sycamore Center in Steubenville, they're a program that does a lot of after-school programs for kids. They're doing 90 days sings with Sycamore. Mm-hmm. And so they get different people to do like a little 15-minute or half-hour set just online. So it'll be our turn on the first day of that, which is February 28th.
Yeah.
And I think we just live stream from our page, which would hopefully work by then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know, but right now Instagram works. So, but you guys also have your own line of teams too, I saw.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, mind showing that off a little bit and talking a little bit about that. Yay!
Here we go. This one is Parsons Peach.
Oh, okay.
And, Crooked Creek Herbals makes our teas.
Okay.
And some of these really cool tins.
Mm-hmm.
How many flavors do we have now? 5? 4 or 5?
Is it 5?
5, I believe. 5.
We're getting a head nod from behind the studio. It's 5. It's
5. Okay, yeah.
Highland Laddie.
Fort Henry. Jamberry.
Mm-hmm. Apples and Winter. There, we got
Apples
it.
and Winter?
They're
Yeah.
all very,
Yeah, that was the one I really wanted to try, was the Apples in Winter. I saw the Jamberry one, though, is always sold out, so that's good. So how can, do people go to the Crooked Creek website to get, are you guys drinking the tea now?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you're representing.
yeah.
Sure.
Let's just say I took a guess at which tea we were drinking and I got it totally wrong.
Oh man. But you guys, like, so what would you say is your favorite tea from the Faire May tea line?
My personal favorite is Highland Laddie, which is a blackberry and vanilla tea.
Okay.
That's really good. I like that one. What about you guys?
All of them. You should buy every single one, 5 times.
Answer.
Just to try them out, and then if you like them, you should buy them 5 times more.
Okay. Sure.
I think Apples in Winter is my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, that was the one I wanted to try.
I don't know, I think it's a tie between Highland Laddie and Apples in Winter.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Apples in Winter seems to be the winner, so to speak. Yet Jamberry is the one that's always sold out every time I go to the website. So, yeah, but cool. So, so people can go to the Crooked Creek website to get your teas, and also they're available at your concerts as well.
And we always bring them to the concerts, or Crooked Creek Herbals website. They have a Faire May tab.
Okay.
You can check out her other products too. She makes a lot of organic products and other teas and elderberry syrup. So we really like her products a lot, and we drink her tea all the time.
I'm all about the organic stuff, definitely. So, all right, cool. So how about we can take a little break from talking and have you guys do a song?
Oh,
yeah.
So this one is a sea shanty, and I think it's a really good girls' sea shanty because if you listen to the lyrics, it's about this young girl who lives on the shore, and she was kidnapped by some sailors, but she then sung them to sleep and stole all their treasure and rowed back to shore and escaped.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Cool. Look forward to hearing it. And hi to everybody that joined us.
Hello.
Ladies sea shanty.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies
Cool.
sea.
Hi, Angela.
Ready? There was a young maiden, she lived on the shore.
She lived on the shore.
There was nothing she could find to comfort her mind, but to roam all alone on the shore, but to roam all alone on the shore. There was a young captain who sailed the salt sea.
Let the winds blow high, blow low.
I will die, the young captain did cry. If I can't get that maid on the shore,
If I can't get that maid on the shore.
I have lots of silver, I have lots of gold.
I have lots of costly ware.
I'll divide with my jolly ship's crew. If they'll row me that maid on the shore.
If they'll row me that maid on the shore.
After much persuasion, they got
Let the winds blow high and blow low.
they placed her away in his cabin. Oh, there's an end to all sorrow. Yeah, there's an end to all sorrow and fear. They chased her away, she's cabin. Let the winds blow high and low. She's so pretty and deep, she's so sweet and complete. She sang captain and sailed to sea. She sang captain and sailed to sea. She robbed him of silver, she robbed him of gold. She robbed him of costly arrow. Then took his broadsword instead of an oar, and paddled away to the shore, and paddled her way to the shore. My men must be crazy, my men must be dead. My men must be deep in despair. Oh, to let her away from my cabin so gay, and to paddle away to the shore, and to paddle away to the shore. Your man was not crazy, your man was not mad. Your man was not deep in despair. I knew you were sailors as well as yourself. I'm the maiden that came on the shore. I'm the maiden that came on the shore. There is a young maiden, she lives on the shore. She lives on the shore.
All right, awesome, guys. And for those that were just joining us in the middle of that, we're with Faire May, and yeah, and they're performing a couple songs for us, as well as talking with us about their adventures in music, living history, and maybe a few other things that we might think of. So
we're feeding
so
the recent sea shanty. We're feeding the recent sea shanty phenomenon.
Yes. Yeah. So how do you guys decide on your material? Like what makes you think, ooh, this might be a good song for us to interpret? And do you guys do any originals?
We just start listening to stuff. I mean, we have a whole bunch of old CDs because that's probably the best source for old folk music and everything is old CDs and records. Mm-hmm. And Spotify actually has a lot of traditional music.
Oh,
but
yeah.
A lot of it's just kind of like some things that you just hear like a lot of bands do, but then you just want to take it on your own way. Especially with Celtic tunes, it's like we do a lot of popular Irish tunes, like Fig for a Kiss, like a lot of people do that. We do have one original, and it's the Constant Song. So it's about. Did we do it?
Perhaps we could probably.
It is. Yeah. It was written about an incident that my mom discovered when we were researching our family tree.
Oh, interesting.
So apparently, we're Clan Sinclair, and if you go down into like the subclans of that, that's a Scottish clan. You get to Clouston, and the Cloustons are the people who settled Cameron, West Virginia, which is about 40 minutes from where we are right now. Mm-hmm. And there's an incident where these two brothers were fighting because their father died, and a lot of his stuff was getting divvied up among the children, and there was this one white tablecloth that both of them wanted.
Right.
It was apparently such a big deal that one brother, they were out shearing sheep, and he took some shears, and he stabbed the other brother in the heart. Ooh. And killed him for the tablecloth.
Yeah.
So that...
It's like that always makes for good songs, though.
Yeah, it does. I'm sure that's what they were thinking. So we wrote a song about that.
Ooh.
You start it off?
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody else that joined us loved it too. So we had a couple.
One other interesting thing about that song. So if the melody sounded familiar, it's almost Ye Jacobites by Name, but it's not copyright because that was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather who wrote that.
Awesome.
The tune very good. Ye Jacobites by Name was My Loves in Germany, and Thomas Germany Trail, that Germany was his nickname, I guess. He wrote that tune, and then eventually it was Robert Burns who added the words Ye Jacobites by Name. So it's just a family collaboration.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Yeah, because I thought that the tune kind of sounded like a little bit familiar and everything. And, you know, but of course, with all those traditional tunes, it's like they've been put to, you know, put to words like throughout the centuries. And, you know, like I know Star of the County Down has, I mean, it's like that tune is, of course, it's Star of the County Down. Then it's also the tune of, there's a version of the Seven Rejoices of Mary to that tune. And I know that there's been other songs like hymns and everything that have used that tune as well. So that's what's kind of cool about a lot of these like traditional songs is that, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, you'll have the same set of lyrics put to like different melodies, and you know, neither melody is right or wrong. It just depends on which interpretation you like the best. So I once again, I'm very much enjoying having you guys on. I definitely like I said, for those that just joined us during that song, we're with Faire May, and I'm really excited because I'm excited to have a couple fellow musicians on. So what are your plans, like, you know, moving forward? Like, do you plan to do like any recording, or, you know, do you plan to, you know, hopefully do live gigs as like, you know, things open up, more, you know, live streams? I mean, like what are your plans going forward?
Yeah, we're hoping to do some sort of a CD. Hopefully, like we could brand it under sort of music of West Virginia, so we could do a lot of different things, because we don't just do Irish. We found that we love a lot of even Italian music and Hungarian and German. Those are all the nationalities that immigrated to the Ohio Valley specifically. So that's it's special like that. So we're hoping to do something like that. We don't have a plan for it yet, but that's something that is in our mind for the future. Yeah. And we do have a couple in-person things coming up. We have a gig at Leonardo's Coffee House, like we were talking about. I asked if they wanted something for St. Patrick's Day, and they said that we could come the Friday before St. Patrick's Day, so that's March the 12th. It's just like a little coffee house. Everybody comes and gets coffee, and then they leave and they listen. So it's really a great place, and that's March 12th at 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so like good. That's, glad to see that you guys are still, like staying, active even, during, these times and everything. So yeah, you guys also, I also wanted to talk about this too. You guys also won a local competition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So,
Jeriel's turn.
Center. The Sycamore Center in Steubenville is run by a man, Bobby John Falcon, and every year he puts on this talent show called Valley's Got Talent, and he brings in a lot of people who are local, a lot of young people to perform, and there are several categories. There were people who sang, there were people who played instruments, dancers.
There was a miscellaneous category, which
miscellaneous,
had some mimes.
So there were a lot of really, really talented people there. And I'm not sure how many years this has been, like maybe 5.
Going on.
Probably around 5 years this has been an annual thing. And even in the middle of the pandemic, they were able to have this, it wasn't open to the public like it is normally, but we were still able to be a part of that. And how many acts were there this year?
15
Probably
or
around
16.
15.
Yeah.
And they were all wonderful. But we won, and we were very excited about that.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure that, did you guys like get any other gigs out of that, or was it just more like kind of like, yay, we won kind of thing?
I don't think we got any gigs specifically from that, but Bobby John always has something open for us. He's the one who did that, and he's really nice. And he always wants nice events like that going on at the Sycamore. So I think we'll keep coming back to the Sycamore Center.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Right after. Not right after.
Right. Yeah. No, it was right after the old-fashioned country Christmas.
Oh, right. He did another event that was almost the same thing. It was all Christmas music, and we actually got to meet members of the band Scythian. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're kind of a big Celtic band, like more modern Celtic, and they take us and they put them and they do quarantine live streams, and they live stream. So that was in direct line with the Sycamore Center.
Yeah. After that show, Dan from Scythian just said, "So, how would you feel about being featured in our corn stream?" And we're like, "Yeah, that sounds great."
Like, awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that was, because I think I did see the Facebook event for that one. Yeah, so cool. Like, sounds like you guys are really like doing some like really interesting stuff, and and you said that you might be doing like a recording at some point down the road.
Probably, just don't know quite when.
Cool. So what might like the song list look like?
Probably like majority Irish and Scottish and just traditional stuff like that. But then we just have so much other fun, different stuff. Like we might throw a colonial one in there. Yeah. It's sort of a toss-up whether to stick to one category or to try to do a little bit of everything. Yeah.
The thing about us is whenever people ask us what kind of music do you play, we can't really give them
I think we're a little bit of everything kind of band. So.
Yeah.
Everything
sometimes
and country, yeah.
Yeah, I know sometimes it's kind of hard to like narrow that down a little bit, especially if you have so many different styles. It's almost like you kind of have to choose your umbrella genre, like are you folk or what have you, and then choose like a subgenre and then like a little niche market, like what sets you guys apart from like say other people in your genre and category, and then maybe if you want to delve even further, do like a little micro niche that like what like really makes you guys like set apart from everybody else doing like maybe like an Irish folk type of thing.
What really helped us get like a little broader with the folk music is, like I said, we did a lot of Irish, and then we started moving on to Russian and Italian and Hungarian, because we all do folk dancing. So we do folk dancing from all those different countries. So we hear all these dance tunes, which are the most fun thing to play, and that's sort of what got us into different things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I know I've seen. I know Kara does folk dancing, and I know. So I've seen her pictures from that. So one thing that I love, since you guys are also in the living history world, one thing that I love to ask my fellow living historians: do you have any? Have you ever had any weird experiences, like say from tourists or whatever, maybe asking you a question or something like that, where you're like, okay, like where did that, like, is that a real fire or something like that? Because because April and I of Fashions Revisited, we actually discussed this when I had her on and everything. So so what, like, do you have any stories from there?
I don't think I do.
I haven't had any strange encounters. I definitely have gotten really strange looks.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Chick-fil-A. Okay.
We were talking about which event was it? It was Penn's Colony. Penn's Colony.
I was playing at Penn's Colony, and I just kind of tagged along.
So we were in the clothes.
18th century, and I thought, and Zach and I kind of, planned this. I thought it would be really funny because we had to go get something to eat. It was around dinner time. We were hungry. And we thought it would be funny if we walked into Chick-fil-A in our 18th century clothing and said, "What year is this?" And that's what we did. And the worker looked at us like, "Huh?" Like she was
busy. It was really crowded. So it was like,
and it just made me feel really awkward. So that was really funny.
Well, I don't get this like as much as like say when I'm in fancy clothes, but like if say I'm in like worker girl clothes or something like that, people sometimes like tend to think I'm Amish or something. I've also had people, and it's just like, well, no, not really. And then I've also had even in my fancier clothes, some people assume like, oh, like the Pilgrim times or something like that, and it's just like actually not, like not even close. But what I was talking to. Yeah, but what I was talking about with April, I think it was like a few weeks ago when I had her on, was like, it can be like, it's very easy to like, maybe laugh at people that, that say things like that, because you're just like, huh, like where would you get that? Like, is that a real? Of course it's a real fire. Are you really going to eat that? Yeah, of course we're going to eat that. And I even had one person. I think it was when we were sitting at our camp, and we were having, it was like just like pita chips and hummus or something like that. And somebody passed us by, and it's really interesting when they try to call you out, and they were just kind of like somebody was passing us by and like, just looking at our setup, and we're just kind of eating like pita chips or something and like hummus just because we were hungry, and then like they were like, oh, I bet they didn't have chips and dip back then, and we're sitting there like, I bet you they did, maybe or like even like eating beef jerky. It's like, would they have been eating that? It's like, yeah, in fact, like a beef jerky type of like, food. I mean, that was actually quite popular with soldiers because it could hold well, because it could preserve well. So, but what April and I were talking about is that, people are drawn to these events, like from the outside. And, it's because, they're there. They've come to, hopefully like, learn something. And, it might seem kind of weird to us because we already know, but I don't know, but maybe like, have a little more patience with people when they ask questions like that. And because sometimes it's just kind of, like I said, it's easy to laugh at people like that. But like, but I don't know, like maybe, April and I were saying, maybe we should make a little more of an effort to have more patience for people, maybe asking these types of questions, even if it seems absolutely absurd at the time. So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if you can educate people on history and on culture, rather than being quick to laugh at them or get annoyed, I think that's a really good thing.
There are some cases where I think it's justified.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that, Ben?
I mean, I think definitely you should be patient with people that don't know. They're just asking general questions. But like, I'm fairly certain at one point I've had somebody ask me in battle reenactments if they're actually shooting each other or if they're using blank cartridges. So, well, if they're actually shooting each other, they would be dead. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point there. Oh, goodness. Yeah, there are some times when you do, especially since I'm getting into the soldier aspect of it and artillery and everything. So yeah, I'll probably get that type of question too. And of course, you always get the standard, like, aren't you hot in that?
Yes.
It's just like, probably no more hot than you are, I mean.
I was just reminded of something. One time I was in the battle reenactment at Fort Henry days, and I was a captive. So I was screaming, and the one taking me captive acted like he was like going to stab me or something, and I was screaming and acting scared. And he was just telling me what to say. And there was like a little girl afterward who said, like, the screaming was a little dramatic. I'm like, if you're in that situation, I'm sure you'd be screaming too.
Yeah, especially if you're playing a captive, you're not just going to be like, just kind of like, yeah, just drag me away,
So I thought that was really funny. He was like, screaming was kind of dramatic. I'm like, well.
Rated a 4 out of 10. Rating the screaming.
Like, yeah, well, that's probably how you would react if you were being grabbed and dragged away from your home, and yeah. But I do think that people do, like I said, come to these events for a reason, and it's a good opportunity to educate people and just really what I was talking with April about, really just let them see that. And then one of the reasons why I enjoy doing what I do in living history is also just kind of letting people see that, like, these were people, and history is very, very diverse. It's very, very broad. You can't just put one blanket statement on, everybody, because everybody, and I was reading an article by James Townsend, and he was basically saying that, there were people just kind of like today, there were people that might have lived like 5 miles from each other that might have had a completely different set of beliefs, a completely different set of viewpoints from different people. And I guess one of the things that I try to convey is that, you can't, one thing, like, you can't really put, because I know, especially if you listen to a lot of like the mainstream media and all that stuff, like, they seem to love to be putting blanket statements on everything and everyone and all that. But really, when you get into studying these people's lives and, and then also even bringing them to life through living history and, in music, kind of like what you guys do, and then, what I do in my own early music group, and even in my more, like, I guess you can say modern music, I still, it's still inspired by a lot of history. I'm writing an album based off of Tudor England, so there you go. But it's, but I do think that it is an opportunity to maybe open people's eyes a little bit more to all of that, and maybe to allow them to see, like, no, like, like I said to April, it's like, no, these aren't just like a bunch of old white dudes in powdered wigs and dusty robes,
Right.
It's, these are, these are men, these are women, these are people of all different nationalities, all different races, all different, just different stations of life. There's rich people, there's poor people, there's middle class, and they all have a different, unique experience, based off of, just depending on who they were and everything, and depending on where they're from. So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes when you read about people in a history book, remembering that they were real, that they were actually people, and they really weren't that much different from us. Which is something interesting that we do, my sister and I, Josie, we portray Dora and Irina Cockayne all the time at the Cockayne Farmstead. So it's really cool to bring back their memory and to try to live like them and act like them. Yeah. So it just helps you remember that they were real people and that they weren't too different from us.
Right. Right. So, yeah, absolutely. And, all right. So, we're getting down to the hour. Do you guys have a, maybe another song or two that you'd like to kind of take us out with?
Yeah, we should, you know, we gotta stick to true colonial and do something that sounds fife and drum-ish. See, Marcus?
And hi, everybody that joined us. Sorry we're getting off on our tangents, but we appreciate you joining us.
We're going to do, what is this called? Lassies of Pratty Mill? Yeah, yeah, that's
Let's go with
it. I learned it by ear, so I just, we all learned it by ear. So this is, sounds kind of fife and drummy.
All right. This is Faire May, and we're here with, can you guys reintroduce yourselves again?
Zach Gordon on multiple instruments.
Jeriel Henthorne on multiple instruments.
And Jacob Goggin also on multiple instruments.
Sensing a pattern.
Very cool, yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming on and everything, and it was awesome having you guys. Like I said, I was really looking forward to having fellow musicians on the live stream now, and yeah, you guys are my first musical guests, so yay! It's really, really exciting. And all right, would you guys like to play one more song before we sign off?
Whiskey for breakfast or for Wild Mountain Time? It's fast.
Yeah.
Do us faster. Guitar? Yep. Like we said at the beginning, we have one more band member, but he just could not make it tonight. So Max.
Right. Yeah. Tell Max we missed him.
Guitar and other stuff, but he's just not here tonight. He couldn't make it.
He's here in spirit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always waiting on the fiddle player. Ready?
Yep.
All right, guys, awesome. So this was Faire May. Thank you guys so much for being on. And tell Max we missed him, and maybe next time we can have all four of you guys on. So
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I love what you guys do. I enjoyed your Christmas concert, and I enjoy seeing you guys at Fort Henry Days. Hopefully that'll happen this year. And yeah, so once again, thank you very much. And do you guys have a website or social media where people can follow you on?
Mostly just Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is Faire May Music.
Facebook, just plain Faire May.
Okay, cool. I'll have those links in the description when I put out the replay, and the replay of this live stream will I'll try to have it tonight. I always try to have it available right away, but if not, it'll be here. It'll be tomorrow on all my other social media platforms. So yeah, so you guys will, anybody that missed it or maybe only got to catch some of this, will get to catch the replay very, very soon. So, all right, guys, thank you so much, and stay warm out there.
Yeah, you too.
All right, thanks, guys, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys will be doing in the future. So, all right, thanks, and thanks to everybody for tuning into the tavern. Raise a glass, cheers, and for Faire May tea, huzzah. All right. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. All right. Take care and stay warm, everybody.